Jeremiah 25 to 27. The word that came to Jeremiah concerning all the people of Judah in the 4th year of Jehoiakim, the son of Josiah, the king of Judah. This was the 1st year of Nebuchadnezzar, king of Babylon, which Jeremiah the prophet spoke to all the people of Judah, and to all the inhabitants of Jerusalem. From the 13th year of Josiah the son of Amon, king of Judah, even to this day. These 23 years the word of Yahweh has come to me, and I have spoken to you, rising up early and speaking, but you have not listened. And Yahweh has sent to you all his servants and prophets, rising up early and sending them out, but you have not listened or inclined your ear to hear, saying, Return now everyone from his evil way, and from the evil of your deeds, and dwell in the land of that Yahweh has given you, to your fathers from of old and even forevermore. Do not go after other gods to serve them or to worship them, and do not provoke me to anger with the work of your hands. Then I will do you no harm. Yet you have not listened to me, says Yahweh, that you may provoke me to anger with the work of your hands to your own hurt. Therefore Adonai Sabaoth says this, because you have not heard my words, behold, I will send and take all the families of the north, says Yahweh. And I will send to Nebuchadnezzar king of Babylon my servant, and will bring them against this land, and against its inhabitants, and against all these nations around. And I will utterly destroy them, and make them an astonishment, and a hissing, a perpetual desolations. Moreover, I will take from them the voice of mirth, and the voice of gladness, and the voice of bridegroom, and the voice of the bride, and the sound of the millstones, and the light of the lamp. And this whole land will be a desolation, and an astonishment. And these nations will serve the king of Babylon 70 years. It will happen, when 70 years are accomplished, that I will punish the king of Babylon in that nation, says Yahweh, for their iniquity, and I will make the land of Kisdim desolate forever. I will bring upon the land all my words which I have pronounced against it, all that is written in this book, which Jeremiah has prophesied against all the nations. For many nations and great kings will make bondservants of them, even of them. I will recompense them according to their deeds and according to the work of their hands. This is what Yahweh, the God of Israel, said to me. Take this cup of the wine from the wrath of my hand, and cause all the nations to whom I send you to drink it. And they will drink and stagger, and be like madmen, because of the sword that I will send among them. Then I took the cup from the hand of Yahweh, and made all the nations to drink, to whom Yahweh had sent me. Jerusalem and the cities of Judah, with its kings and its princes, to make them a desolation, an astonishment, a hissing, and a curse, as is today Pharaoh king of Egypt, and his servants, his princes, and all his people, and all the mixed people, and all the kings of the land of Uz, all the kings of the Philistines, Ashkelon, Gaza, Ekron, and remnant of Ashdod, Edom, Moab, and the children of Ammon, and all the kings of Tyre, and all the kings of Sidon, and all the kings of the isle which is beyond the sea, Dedan, Tema, Buz, and all who have corners on their beard cut off, and all the kings of Arabia, all the kings of the mixed people who dwell in the wilderness, and all the kings of Zimri, all the kings of Elam, and all the kings of the Medes, and all the kings of the north, far and near, one with another, and all the kingdoms of the world, which are on the surface of the earth, and all the kings of Shishak will drink after them. You should say to them, This is what Adonai Sabaoth, the God of Israel, says, Drink and be drunk, vomit, fall, and rise no more, because of the word which I will send among you. And it shall be, if they refuse to take the cup that is in your hand to drink, that you shall tell them, This is what Adonai Sabaoth says, You shall certainly drink. For behold, I begin to bring evil on this city, at which is called by my name, and should be utterly unpunished, you will not be punished. For I will call for a sword on all the inhabitants of the earth, says Adonai Sabaoth. Therefore prophesy against them all these words, and tell them, Yahweh will roar from on high, and utter his voice from his holy habitation. He will mightily roar against his fold. He will give a shout, as those who tread grapes, against all the inhabitants of the earth. A noise will come to the end of the earth, for Yahweh has a controversy with the nations. He will enter into judgment with all flesh. As for the wicked, he will give them to the sword, says Yahweh. This is what Adonai Sabaoth says, Behold, evil will go out from nation to nation, and a great storm will be raised up from the uttermost parts of the earth. The slain of Yahweh will be at that day from one end of the earth to the other end of the earth, that they will not be lamented, gathered, or buried. They will be dung on the surface of the ground. Wail, you shepherds, and cry, wallow in the dust, you leader of the flock. For the days of your slaughter and of your dispersions have fully come, and you will fall like fine pottery. The shepherds will have no way to flee. The leader of the flock will have no escape. A voice of the cry of the shepherds and the wailing of the leader of the flock, for Yahweh destroys their pasture, the peaceful folds of those who silence, because of the fierce anger of Yahweh. He has left his covert as the lion, and their land has become an astonishment, because of the fierceness of the oppression, and because of his fierce anger. In the beginning of the reign of Joachim, the son of Josiah, king of Judah, this word came from Yahweh, saying, This is what Yahweh says, Stand in the court of the house of Yahweh, and speak to the cities of Judah, which come to worship in the house of Yahweh, all the words which I command you to speak to them. Do not omit a word. It may be that they will listen, and every man will turn from his evil way, and I may relent from the evil which I intend to do to them because of the evil of their doing. And you shall tell them, This is what Yahweh says, If you will not listen to me, to walk in my Torah which I have set before you, to listen to the words of my servants and the prophets whom I send to you, even rising up early and sending them, but you have not listened, then I will make this house like Shiloh, and will make the city a curse to all the nations of the earth. So the Kohanim, the prophets, and all the people heard Jeremiah speaking these words in the house of Yahweh. Now it came to pass, when Jeremiah had finished speaking all that Yahweh had commanded him to speak to all the people, that the Kohanim and the prophets and all the people seized him, saying, You shall surely die. Why have you prophesied in the name of Yahweh, saying, The house will be like Shiloh, and this city will be desolate without an inhabitant? And all the people were gathered around Jeremiah in the house of Yahweh. When the princes of Judah heard these things, then they came up from the king's house to the house of Yahweh, and they sat in the entry of the new gate in the house of Yahweh. And the Kohanim and all the prophets spoke to the princes and to all the people, saying, This man is worthy of death, and he has prophesied against this city, as you have heard with your ears. Then Jeremiah spoke to all the princes and all the people, saying, Yahweh sent me to prophesy against this house and against the city and all the words which you have heard. Now therefore amend your ways and your doings, and obey the voice of Yahweh, your God. Then Yahweh will relent from the evil that he has pronounced against you. But as for me, behold, I am in your hand. Do with me what is good and right in your eyes. Only know for certain that if you put me to death, you will bring innocent blood on your hands, on this city and on its inhabitants. For in truth Yahweh has sent me to you to speak all these words in your ears. Then the princes and all the people said to the Kohanim and to the prophets, This man is not worthy of death, for he has spoken to us in the name of Yahweh our God. Then certain of the elders of the land rose up and spoke to all the assembly of the people, saying, Micah the Morashite prophesied in the day of Hezekiah king of Judah, and he spoke to all the people of Judah, saying, This is what Adonai Sabaoth says. Zion will be plowed as a field, and Jeremiah will become heaps, and Jerusalem will become heaps, and the mountain of the house, the high places of a forest. Did Hezekiah king of Judah and all of Judah put him to death? Did he not fear Yahweh and entreat the favor of Yahweh? And Yahweh relented on the disaster which he had pronounced against them? We would command great evil against our own souls that way. And there was also a man who prophesied the name of Yahweh, Uriah, the son of Shemaiah, of Kiriath Jearim. And he prophesied against the city and against this land according to all the words of Jeremiah. And when Jehoiakim, the king, with all his mighty men and all the princes heard his words, the king sought to put him to death. But when Uriah heard it, he was afraid and fled and went into Egypt. Then Jehoiakim, the king sent men into Egypt. Elnathan, the son of Achbor, a certain men with him, into Egypt. And they fetched Uriah out of Egypt, and brought him to Jehoiakim, the king, who killed him with the sword, and cast his dead body into the graves of the common people. But the hand of Achim, the son of Shaphan, was with Jeremiah. So when they did not give him into the hand of the people to put him to death. In the beginning of the reign of Jehoiakim, the son of Josiah, the king of Judah, this word came to Jeremiah from Yahweh, saying, This is what Yahweh said to me. Make bonds and bars and put them on your neck. Then send them to the king of Edom, and to the king of Moab, to the king of the children of Ammon, to the king of Tyre, to the king of Sidon, by the hand of the messengers who came to Jerusalem to Zedekiah, king of Judah. Give them a command to their masters, saying, This is what Adonai Sabaoth, the God of Israel, says. You shall tell your masters, I have even made the earth, the men and the animals that are upon the surface of the earth, by my great power and by my outstretched arm, and I give to whom it seems right to me. Now I have given all these lands into the hand of Nebuchadnezzar the king of Babylon, my servant. I have also given the animals of the field to him to serve. All the nations will serve him, his son and his son's son, until the time of his own land comes. Then many nations and great kings will make him their bondservant. It will happen that I will punish the nation of the kingdom, which will not serve the name of Nebuchadnezzar king of Babylon, and that will not put their neck under the yoke of the king of Babylon, says Yahweh, with the sword, with famine, with pestilence, until I have consumed them by his hand. But as for you, do not listen to your prophets, to your diviners, to your dreamers, to your soothsayers, or to your sorcerers, who speak to you, saying, You shall not serve the king of Babylon. For they prophesy a lie to you, to remove you far from the land, so that I would drive you out, and you would perish. But the nation that brings their neck under the yoke of the king of Babylon and serves him, that nation I will let remain in their own land, says Yahweh, and they will till it and dwell in it. I spoke to Zedekiah king of Judah according to all these words, saying, Bring your necks under the yoke of the king of Babylon, and serve him and his people, and live. Why will you die, you and your people, by the sword, by famine, and by pestilence, as Yahweh has spoken concerning the nations, that I will not serve the king of Babylon? Do you not listen to the words of the prophets who speak to you, saying, You shall serve the king of Babylon? For they prophesy a lie to you. For I have not seen them, says Yahweh, but they prophesy falsely in my name, that I may drive you out, that you may perish, you and your prophets, and who prophesy to you. Also I spoke to the Kohanim, and to all the people, saying, This is what Yahweh says, Do not listen to the words of the prophets, of your prophets, who prophesy to you, saying, Behold, the vessels of the house of Yahweh will now shortly be brought again from Babylon. But they prophesy a lie to you. Do not listen to them. Serve the king of Babylon and live. Why should this city become a desolation? But if you are prophets, and if the word of Yahweh is with them, let them now make intercession with Adonai Sabaoth, that the vessels which are left in the house of Yahweh, in the house of the king of Judah, in Jerusalem, to not go to Babylon. For this is what Adonai Sabaoth says concerning the pillars, concerning the sea, concerning the bases. concerning the rest of the vessels that are left in the city, which Nebuchadnezzar king of Babylon did not take when he carried away captive Jericho, when he carried away captive Jeconiah, the son of Jehoiakim, king of Judah, from Jerusalem to Babylon, and all the nobles of Judah and Jerusalem. This is what Adonai Sabaoth, the God of Israel, says concerning the vessels that are left in the house of Yahweh, in the house of the king of Judah, in the Jerusalem. They will be carried to Babylon, and there they will be until the day I visit them, says Yahweh. Then I will bring them up and restore them to this place.